morning, everybody, and welcome to Randi Sands and the Mediumship Crew. I'm Randi. Hey, Jack, you want to
I'm
wave?
Jack.
Yeah. And tonight we are going to have a topic that I think is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be on the evolution of self. And for me, that's an interesting topic because as we evolve, our belief systems change, our core values change, um, different things change as we're evolving. And of course that involves some firewalks, um, but for me, and we're going to let the mediumship crew have at this in a moment. For me, it's been amazing, and I've learned to enjoy the firewalks and to embrace them, because what happens on the other end is just astoundingly awesome. And I've learned that to deal with the firewalks, which we'll get into as we talk about this. So if you don't know, don't worry, you'll find out. Um, what I've learned to do is to just release, just let things go the way they're supposed to go, and not try to control it. And then it just seems to flow. And now I really look forward to those firewalks. So why don't we first talk briefly, you guys, on firewalks, because anybody that's growing spiritually or wants to grow spiritually, should know what they are because they're going to experience them. So let's talk about those.
The times that you're put out of your comfort zone, and you just have to learn to trust that spirit knows what it's doing and guiding you. And like you say, look forward to those things, because when you don't try and control them is when you have the best outcome.
I agree.
Well, it's interesting. The whole concept of a firewalk, I never learned it until Randi, you taught it to me. And to me, it's those crisis moments in your life that are teaching you something. And it's really hard to fix your life when you're in crisis, right? Because you're in survival mode. But it's when you are able to step back and you go, oh, I repeated that. That's a lesson I've done this lesson a couple times. Maybe I should change how I'm reacting to the situation. And that's kind of when you have these aha moments and you grow and you become a much kinder, gentler person when you see somebody else going through those crisis moments.
Yeah, and Colleen, that surprises me, but I feel honored because it just goes to show how we all still learn from each other. I had no idea that you had learned that from me. But the way that I explain firewalks to my mediumship students is that, imagine it like an apartment building in New York City where they're all bricks from, the ground up. And if your consciousness level is, say, a brick 5, and you go to brick 6, what worked for you here is pretty much going to work for you here. But every now and then we have those spurts where you go from 5 to, let's say, 12. And what worked for you here is certainly not going to work for you here. So the universe will throw all this chaos into your life. It may feel like, your world is crumbling around you because it's for growth. You have to learn the lessons to operate on this level. So, they're trying at times, but they're amazing. To be able to have the honor to meet the new you on the other side, the new and improved you. Nobody else has the honor to be the first person to meet that new you, but you. Does anybody else have anything to say on firewalks? No? Okay, so let's get to the fun stuff. because we've all experienced fireworks. How many people have experienced one? We've all experienced where your life seems to be falling apart. So then we've all, and on the other side of it, had spiritual growth. If we look back, we changed. And the more severe the firewalk, the bigger the change. So let's talk about that. Um, I'm not going to go first. I'll let somebody else go first. Somebody?
Okay, I'll go first.
Everybody's like, let me shut up.
Tammy's like sipping her tea.
Hiding
And
behind
I
everybody's
always
kinda
go
looking like
first.
this.
Letting somebody else
So-
go first.
One of the biggest firework walks I had, or growth experiences, as I experience call it, was right after my father died. Um, it just seemed that there was this pressure that was released from my life, and this um, stress and anxiety with him being so sick and having to deal with everything, that then I had this moment where I had to deal with all my junk with my dad. And on the other side of it, I was opened up spiritually. I mean, you're talking, 5 to 12. I think I went 5 to 30, in one jump of just knowing how to be a spiritual being, and having forgiveness, not for my father, but for myself and who I was at the time, unable to do things, and forgive that person, as opposed to holding myself to the rigid standards I had.
And I'll tell mine. A lot of people don't know this, but I went through I went through two firewalks that were very extreme. Um, One of them, I had a very high paying job, and there were some changes that happened that were out of everybody's control. And the company could no longer afford to pay me, so they let me go. And with that said, I ended up not being able to find another job right away. So I kind of lost everything. I was an American statistic. And essentially, I'm going to say I lived out of my car for about 3 months, but really I had great friends, so I was kind of couch surfing until I was able to get my own place. And I had a job, and I was also going to school online all at the same time. So it was very trying. And I remember there were times I was like, I just feel like giving up. And, of course, universe doesn't take us so far to let us fail. So, I knew that. So I had the faith, and I just kept plugging away. And I am telling you, when I got to the other side of that firewalk, I was a completely different person. I was new and improved. And we go through firewalks, especially if we're really working our spiritual program, because we're doing the hard work and we're trying to be honest about who we are and what we are, and working to improve that. So we're going to see those spiritual growth spurts. And I'll tell you what, even the worst firewalk I've ever been through was so worth it when I got to the other side. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Well, and I think that's the thing about that kind of stuff, is that once you get through it and you look back, you don't necessarily regret how you got there or going through it or any of that stuff, because you know what the benefit was from it. Um, and I just wanted to throw in there, they don't have to be like real extreme
Mhm.
either. I mean, they could be just losing a job, or, I mean, yours was the economy crash, so that was kind of an extreme thing. But they can be, a relationship breakup, losing a job, somebody passing, whatever. Um, but I think that, their biggest thing is their biggest purpose is to get you to know yourself and heal yourself so that you can go on and help other people.
Yeah, because I had a job making several $1,000s a month to the only job I was able to find was making $300 a week. That's very humbling. That's very humbling, and there's good lessons in that. And it took me a while until I was able to find another good job and, be able to get my own place again. But it worked. And it's like I tell my students, if you just have faith in the universe and say, you know what, I'm going to sit here and whatever you guys have to do, universe, just do what you got to do. And when you're done, we'll go forward. And it always works. It always works, even if you feel devastated in the moment.
It always works, but I still don't look forward to them.
You'll get to a point where you do.
No,
You
no.
will, I
I mean,
promise
it's
you.
okay. I know that I have to do it, and I know they come, and I know there's nothing I can do about it, but I will not be like, okay, let's do this again right now. No.
You'll get to a point where you do. Right, Colleen, do you look forward to them?
Well, I look forward to them in a different way. I usually, every time Mercury goes into retrograde, I kind of review everything that I've learned from the last retrograde. So they don't seem to hit me as hard as they have in the past because I'm always reviewing what I've learned and I've kind of moved forward, and I don't get
They're not as big.
those places where I have these huge crises that happen anymore because I'm just kind of a little more grounded, and I roll with the flow a lot easier, if that makes sense.
But
Yeah,
there's also things like national or natural disasters and things like that that are beyond our control.
right.
But I look forward to them. Tammy, do you?
I always like to say one of my favorite sayings is spirit, you better freaking have my back because whatever you're guiding me to do, I'm going to jump in with both feet because I know that I'm going to learn from it and it's going to be wonderful. And it's all the way that you look at the situation that you're in. You can be in there in that situation, and I'll say, all right, it's time for you to just get out of the depression mode and just jump up onto your feet, pull your, big girl panties up and get on with it and do what spirit wants. And like I say, it happens so often that you become accustomed to kind of how it's going to unfold, not each, detail of it, but that it is going to unfold, and that when you don't resist, like I said before, it seems that everything goes much easier and the lesson is taken much easier. And you're not fighting with yourself in your head, trying to tell yourself, oh no, I'm not doing this. Just do it, like Nike, just do it. If you're being moved out of your comfort zone, know that it's a huge growing experience that you're going to have. And, just tell spirit, you better freaking have my back and move with it and go with it. And then afterwards, give thanks for it. I do. I give thanks for the lessons that I learned. And hopefully I don't have to go through them again. But I definitely think it's the way that you look at the situation. Your first initial response is, oh no, this is happening to me. I want to run, hide, and but no, when you have that awareness, you can say, no, I'm not, and spirit have my back, and here I go. But that comes with 50 some years of doing it.
Trial and error.
you know it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you have to trust. You really have to trust spirit.
I think what happens is after a while, we're able to recognize, oh, this is a firewalk.
Right.
And we know what it is, you know. And yes, I do get a little crazy with it because my favorite thing is give it to me, baby. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm excited for the spiritual growth. I've told the universe, listen, I don't want to have to come back here again. When I graduate to spirit, I want to be a spirit guide. So, give me everything I have to learn in this lifetime. That doesn't mean that it's exciting why I'm going through it, but what's exciting when I'm going through it is knowing the growth that's coming.
Yeah.
And because I get excited for that growth, I get excited for the firewalk.
She said the same thing like 2 months ago, and now I have to go through it with her. I'm not ready to be done, but she's like, I'm done. I want to learn everything now. And ever since then, it's been one thing after the next, and I'm ready to stop.
High five, girl.
The same thing.
Well, you know what's kind of fun is that sometimes your spiritual growth is like snowball. It's like running down a hill and it's getting bigger and bigger, and you're learning more and more, faster and faster. And then all of a sudden you get to the bottom and it stops, you know, and it seems like, oh, well, what happened? It seemed like I was so in touch and everything's going great and everything. And all of a sudden it stops. And I always say that that's the time that we can just sit back and reflect on what we gained as we were going down that
Yes.
hill, making that huge snowball at the bottom, you know.
Yes, yes. I've noticed that too. It's like you'll be speeding down, well, either downhill or uphill because it's a firewalk. But either way, wherever it is you end up like on this plateau where it
Right,
kind of, goes like this and that snowball gets stuck right there.
right.
And, I say that that's our time to digest.
Yep,
It's our time to digest. It's our time to enjoy exploring the new spiritual us, the new and
right.
improved, and to get prepared for the next series of firewalks because they're going to come. Don't worry. Don't worry, girl. You're with me. We're learning everything in this lifetime. They're going to come. I get a little concerned when I go a while without.
Yeah, truthfully.
Anybody have any other comments? Come on, there's a few of you in here. I know you guys have something to say.
Well, you answered my question.
Eve has something.
I know she does. What was your question?
Eve has something because I can see it.
I was going to ask if you could ask to have these done because, like she said a couple months ago, I want to learn everything I can because this has to be my last life, and I just want to be the helper on the other side. That's my ultimate goal. So, and it's been
William.
I did.
You've had a few lessons this month.
Yeah, too many. I'm done.
but I am learning to come out of my comfort box. I am stepping up and doing stuff that I've never done before. So I am.
But you know what, Tiffany? You say she asked for it and you have to go through it with her. But you know what? Be appreciative because you know what? Her asking is bringing your spiritual growth too.
Yeah. It's just not fun right now. Right now. I'm not having fun.
Eve, what did you have?
I don't. I guess what started this part of my spiritual journey was the firewalk. I guess. I mean, because trying to understand what the firewalk, what the understanding of firewalk is those challenging times. And I believe I've said it here before. It was like after going through several deaths and being to the point where I wanted to check out. There was no other way but I need help. And then this path started. And I mean, I kind of pretty much today go with the flow for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But there are days, and I'm going to say like the last couple of days, I've noticed there's something going on. I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling like something will irritate me. And before I know it, I'm just like, what is going on? Why am I so angry? Because nothing upset me. And it's just like, like, I mean, something as silly as I don't even know what set me off, but I was trying to today get a empty water bottle out of the back seat of the car. I'm trying to throw it in the back because I've got empties back there, right? It wouldn't go over the seat. After like the third try, I like grabbed it and flung it back there really hard and go, what is wrong with you? Why are you so angry? Like, that's like, I don't know. But like, I mean, this morning I heard, I watched the video of that 9-year-old girl this morning and I got really upset. So if that had anything to do with it, I don't know. But
Could be the full moon.
well,
Yeah.
that was my first thing. It's like the moon is in Leo. It's a fiery planet, and the full moon is got its own energy. So I was thinking maybe that was part of it. But now I'm saying, well, the moon's in Virgo now, so why are you still angry? So I don't know. I try not to go down so far anymore. Like if a few things upset me, or I hear of a few deaths, and I'll get upset about it. Like sad, but not to the point where I want to check out anymore. Now I kind of like look forward to life, but there is that little thing in the back of the head that like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Things are going too good. So I don't know. You know.
When I hear about deaths now, I kind of get a little jellyfish
Okay.
because they got to graduate. They finished their lessons here. They got to graduate and go to somewhere really awesome where they get to continue learning. And I'm not going to lie, Jack will tell you, I get a little jellyfish. I do. Not that I'm in a rush to leave here. Don't misunderstand me, but just the fact that they got to finish school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a little jellyfish. I'm not going to lie.
I'm on the 5th day of another meditation challenge that, Hay House puts them out every now and then. And it's like I have continued to do that meditation in the morning and stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I've got expectations or what, but like I am feeling better overall, and I'm not having the spiky up and down emotions like out of whack. It's like, oh, I'll kind of consider what's going on astrologically and go, okay, well, maybe that's it, and go on about my thing. So.
Right. What about you, Lester? You got anything to add? I know he does.
Had to put me on the spot, didn't
Yep.
we're all the time growing. No matter what, life itself, we're growing. And I mean, I've been through so many of them firewalks. It's like a, a TV screen, but we have to learn from them. If we don't learn from them, we gotta go through it again. And a lot of people keep repeating the cycle over and over.
Especially with relationships. How many of us have had multiple bad relationships, and when we look back, it was the same thing with each, I mean, a little bit different, but the theme was the same with each one, and it continued until we learned the lesson.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Well, like the saying says, if you want something different, you have to try different stuff. How's that go?
If you want something different, you have to do something different.
Yeah, something like that.
If you always do what you always did, you always
Always
get what
do
you
what you
always
always
got.
That's it.
Now Lynn piped up. So Lynn, talk to
I
us.
know that one. Now ask me why I know.
Oh, I'm asking.
Right? No, you did. We already just said that. It's about the relationships, and just keep doing it over and over because you're not getting it right, and you're not changing your mojo. And yeah, I'm working on it. But we all go through that sort of thing. It, for relationships or whatever. But yeah, that's why I know that one. And I'm trying to make it like different this, next time, whatever. It's nothing happening now, but that's where I'm supposed to be. That's that plateau, right?
Okay, so give it to everybody again.
If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Or what I like to say is, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Ask me a stupid question.
Wait a minute, no question stupid.
I know, but if you
You're
ask me a
right.
stupid question, I'll give you a stupid answer. That's just that throwaway kind of thing. No, there are no stupid questions. I agree.
Yeah, because I look back.
And how many times,
Go ahead, Colleen.
I was going to say, how many times do you have to ask a question? I mean, I can remember as I was growing spiritually in certain areas, I asked this person, I asked this person, I asked this person, I asked this person. They all said the same thing.
You're looking for a different answer, aren't you?
But it was, they all said it in a slightly different way. That finally, when the last person said it, that the light bulb went off in my head and I went, oh yeah, duh.
Or they phrased it in a way that it sunk in. But I look back at some of my relationships that I've had, and I'm like, oh yeah, you keep playing stupid games, you're going to keep winning stupid prizes. And boy, I was a big winner. I was a big winner. My picker was broke for a long time. But again, just like we were talking earlier, looking back, I don't regret any of it, because even though it took me a while to get it, it was a huge learning experience, each and every one of them. At the end, because you go through that whole firewalk, and then at the end you learn something. And then, of course, if you didn't fully learn the lesson, you're going to repeat it again. But with each one, you learned more and more and more. So, I'm grateful to every one of them. Anybody else? No?
I would say that for myself, I'm doing things differently this time. Like, I'm 5 years out of a 20-year relationship. I am in no hurry. And that's not me, because usually I'd have the other thing lined up before I was out of the other thing, So I'm totally doing it differently this time. So I don't know.
I'm with you. I've told my wife that, at my age, and 58's not that old really, but I've told her at my age, Lord forbid anything happens to her, I'm done. It's much
If only
easier.
you could control it that easy.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of can. If you put your mind to it, you can.
No, you can't.
Watch me. Watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yes. Have no
But
relationship out of spite for this.
Let's hope you don't have to watch me, because
Right.
I don't want anything to happen to my wife. But no, seriously, if anything did, I would rather just be done, because it's just so much easier. You don't have to.
It is not easier. It is not easier to be single and alone if you enjoy relationships or people.
Well, maybe. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
you can do what you want when you want. You don't have to consider anyone else.
Yeah, I like that part.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, Colleen.
Well, and I was alone for many years before my husband and I got together. And I kept wanting to have relationships and wanting to be in these because I was afraid to be alone. And it wasn't until I got comfortable with being alone and dating myself that my husband and I connected. So, I get what you're saying, Randy. And now at this point, if he were to die, I'm done. No way.
Yeah,
I'll be happy alone.
Yeah, you'll be happy.
And not that I'm opposed to the opportunity. I'm just not going to be seeking it out.
Right. You're not actively seeking, which therefore means they will actively seek you.
Oh, and let me tell you something. I would have like this application that would be like 1,000 pages long. They'd get to the third one and go, forget it.
Yeah.
I had one question.
Yeah.
I had one question.
Yeah.
Tesla or Edison?
Edison.
And I didn't, now it doesn't matter who, defend it.
Because Edison was a genius, and with a genius, you can invent anything.
See, and so for me, it was the matter of knowing that you could intelligently answer a question like that.
I mean, Tesla is
I
just
actually had people go, I don't want to, why are you comparing the guy that created the light bulb and the guy that created the car? Literally, I got those kind of answers.
In my mind, Tesla is a product of a lot of years of invention. Edison was a genius that invented and was on the forefront.
Well,
And so
I believe that the universe puts the message out to be an inventor and to invent things that need to be here on Earth at this time. And many people get the same message. It's just how they go about bringing it to fruition.
right.
So we needed electricity and we needed the light bulb, and we got the people to do it. It's just too bad that it had to be feud, instead of realizing that there's many other people that also probably had the same ideas in their head. They just never went and did anything about it.
Well, look at the whole development of the vaccine at this point, right? There's multiple vaccines that are working to the same end, and
right, and they've come about in different ways.
I agree. Well, I think this has been an amazing conversation. I've enjoyed it. Everybody else enjoy it?
Yep, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything else to add to it before we sign off? No? Hey, Jack.
What?
It's time for you to do your job.
Bye, happy, good people. See, you added words and it makes me all messed up. Goodbye, happy, good Facebook people and Zoom people.